It was an announcement so big, every network led with it. Yep, Sarah Palin's secret email server contained more high-classified info than previously thought. Sorry, did I say Sarah Palin? I meant Hillary Clinton. But maybe if it were Sarah, everybody would have led with it. FNC got a look at a letter from the Inspector General that says dozens of emails contain classified info, ranging from confidential to top secret from, quote, special access programs, unquote, Dana. In sum, Hillary broke at least 2 federal laws: the illegal storage of classified info, the illegal transmission of classified info, which regarding national defense through unapproved channels happens to be a felony. So where's this going? Let's ponder Hillary's campaign. It's in collapse. But is anyone watching? So far, the media is doing 2 things. It's pushing the notion that it's rude to even consider that Hillary committed a crime because she's just too big to fail. Which means if it were you, you'd already be in jail fashioning clever shanks out of toothbrushes. But let's also admit that whenever Hillary makes news, we get lost in the riot on the right. Hence, Palin's endorsement trumped Hillary's lawbreaking. Here's an idea. Indict her, arrest her, then pardon her, then excuse her. And it's time. I mean, what's worse, Hillary's treatment of emails or Bill's treatment of females? Hillary dismissed both and allowed for abuse of both while lying and denying afterward. Emails and females. One served Hill, the other served Bill. Shouldn't that be the news, or is it a snooze? It's something to ponder before swearing in President Clinton. Kimberly, you claim to be...
How very cat in the hat of you.
I know. Sometimes I got to rhyme.
Little mini Suze.
Oh, you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
enough. Okay. You're a lawyer, prosecutor.
Yeah, I am. So
This stuff was clearly marked classified, so they were in separate systems, and that requires a deliberate movement from one to the other.
Absolutely. So they can't say that they're just negligent. What this shows is specific intent to do so, to disregard the law, to go around it, and to compromise our national security and intelligence. Because, quite frankly, not only did she cost lives in Benghazi, this will cost lives if this information gets in the wrong hands, which I believe that they were able, the Russians, the Chinese, able to get access to this or hack her server and read some of these emails in real time. Let's see what happens. I mean, if this was anybody else, we would already be fast forward, like you said, to the prosecution. And then, yeah, great. Next president of the United States can pardon her. But I think that's also why it's so important for her to become a president and to win this election, because her life is on the line with this. I think it's very serious. I mean, look what happened with Petraeus, and you see the conscious disregard to go ahead despite these national security threats, and then the consciousness of guilt in terms of removing and trying to remove the headers because she knew what she was doing.
We can only hope that President O'Malley will pardon her. Juan, you don't have to show harm or intent. The evidence is overwhelming that she broke the law, but there's no need to show harm or intent. She's going to be prosecuted. She's going to be indicted. This must be crushing to you.
Oh, yeah. It's just devastating, Greg. It's devastating to see you throw so much blank on the wall and hope something sticks, because that's all you guys are doing. Spaghetti, that's exactly the S word, spaghetti. So that's what I was talking about. Look, I mean, there's no need to defend Hillary Clinton. I think she acted like an entitled, privileged lady here who was first lady and thinks, you know what, I play by my own rules. And I really can't stand what she did with the foundation, the foreign donations, and, you know, get ahead of myself because later we're going to talk about this, but I think what she did with the unions by selling out the school choice movement, I find it appalling.
So you love her?
Well, no, I mean, you're asking if I
vote for her
like the rest of
No, but I will say this, that, you know, you look at these ads now being run by Karl Rove's group, American Crossroads, ads against Hillary supporting Bernie, basically, in Iowa. Then you look at this and the kind of argument that comes from the Clinton campaign, which is that there's some coordination. The leak goes to the Hill, to Republicans on the Hill, who then spill it. And what have they got? They have got zip. Let me finish this point, though, Eric. That basically, the real issue here is emails not classified, being classified or not classified, being sent and received. Hillary Clinton said she never received or sent anything that was marked.
She lied.
That is still
somebody's
the case.
going to jail. Maybe Huma, you know.
There's no new
I
development.
think Juan should go to jail for lying.
Hillary. Yeah, okay, so again, that was the rhetoric today. That came out of the Clinton campaign today, that it was a coordinated effort by the GOP to leak, to have these, the timing of these emails being leaked. The problem with that is it wasn't the GOP. It was the New York Times who leaked it. Michael Schmidt wrote the article that talked about the emails, Hillary Clinton's emails.
Where is it coming from was the point.
From, what do you mean, where's it coming from?
Didn't it start from the Benghazi hearing?
No, it didn't, and that's the whole point. Trey Gowdy said it wasn't my committee that leaked these emails, that leaked the story of the emails. It was New York Times investigation. I'm positive New York Times didn't sit on it. Trey Gowdy said it.
No. What I'm saying is the Inspector General had to give it to somebody. He didn't give it to
because, Juan, actually, I can actually clarify this.
Please.
The chairman of the committee, the Homeland Security Committee, made a congressional inquiry, wrote a letter to the Inspector General.
Right.
The Inspector General did what he is supposed to do under the law. He replied to the member of Congress.
Correct.
Then it gets to the New York Times.
Right.
But she is saying that the Inspector General, she actually was saying that her team was accusing the Inspector General, who is a nonpartisan federal employee of whom she wants to be the boss of being political and conspiring with the Republicans.
GOP, which is
because it's a distraction. Yeah, because guess what? Still guilty. You can do all the jazz hands you want, Juan. Leaked or not, it's there. It's the truth, and she's responsible. Sorry for you.
For what?
For leaking classified information. Well,
excuse
me, for having an unsecure server and having that information that was
inappropriate,
compromised.
but that is not a crime.
She went out of her way
And
to deliberately
removed the
shift this stuff from one pile to the other. This included names of a mole, of black ops programs. People's names were in there. She put them all in danger. I want to go to
on her homebrew server.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait a second.
It's
I
like
think
double
they said
agent behavior,
there's suggestions
right?
coming from Brian Fallon, who's the spokesman for the Clinton camp, saying, you know what, this may be just about a newspaper story with regard to a drone program, and then that newspaper story then gets sent to Hillary Clinton, and then now the Inspector General says, well, that drone program was SAP.
All right. Well, you know what? I'd rather hear from Krauthammer than you.
I know that.
You opened for Dawkin earlier this year. Let's go to Krauthammer.
What people have to understand is that there is nothing higher, more secret than an SAP. And that, from some people I've talked to, this is worse than what Snowden did, because he didn't have access to SAP. And that if this is compromised, this is so sensitive that the reason it is that as a result, if it's compromised, people die.
KG.
See, that's what I was saying. This is, I mean, come on. He knows. This is, to me, this is such a double standard and such hypocrisy that she's getting a pass once again. There's like some weird spell that the Clintons put people under, and it just doesn't matter. They're like 3-strike offenders, but it doesn't matter. Give them a pass. I mean, there should be serious consequences. How is it that now this person is going to be rewarded by potentially being president of the United States of America, the greatest country in the world, commander-in-chief of our armed forces? It's bad enough what happened to Benghazi. It's bad enough the influence peddling with the Clinton Foundation, and now this is it. This is enough with what happened with the email. She deliberately did this. She and her team. There is quite substantial evidence to point to this. Now it's the call of DOJ and FBI. What are you going to do about it?
You know who agrees with you? Mayor Giuliani. How's that, huh?
I'm in such good company.
This is about as clear as it gets. It is a crime to negligently handle top-secret material. She's misrepresented about it. She's lied about it. She said she had no top-secret material. It was absurd. How could the Secretary of State not have top-secret material? And finally, she destroyed 34,000 emails. Do you know what I argue as a prosecutor in court? That's evidence of a guilty knowledge. And I am entitled to a charge by the judge to the jury.
And she didn't even...
He's right.
And
the jury instruction.
That is the biggest. She cherry-picked the emails that she wanted to be released, and the ones, or more specifically, the ones she didn't want. Can you imagine? You know, all these, the NSA, all these groups that think they can go back and find these data, the metadata, whatever you call it. Can someone please find these emails? Could they be absolutely 100% destroyed, or are they sitting somewhere, either from a recipient or somewhere else?
Yes.
The thousands that are sitting there, they have to be a smoking gun.
They can,
if the ones she showed us are atrocious, can you imagine what she won't show us?
They're somewhere.
And Giuliani's talking about the jury instruction for consciousness of guilt, which you can ask for a judge to show when someone deliberately then acts in a way that shows that their guilt by destroying or not producing the evidence because they know that they're guilty, and it would, convict them.
Doesn't this disqualify her from, I mean, we're in the age of cyber terror. and cyber warfare. Doesn't this kind of disqualify her from that? Either her secretiveness or her ignorance.
Well, and you know, the State Department actually tried to protect her from herself, but she wouldn't even listen then, because in 2011 there was an email sent to Uma Abedin, her aide, from the State Department Administrative Office saying, your boss must get an official account. So first of all, the State Department's complicit and they did nothing, and it's pretty amazing that they've been quiet about it all along. Secondly, when you have somebody who's willfully ignoring the State Department, imagine what she would do as the chief executive officer of the executive branch. She wants to be the commander-in-chief. Everybody that would work for her that would have clearance would actually be subjected to the same rules and laws that she basically said she didn't have to adhere to. And all of her supporters will say that, oh, well, you're just crazy, and the Inspector General must be complicit with the Republicans, and they'll figure out some way to try to put this under the rug, but there's no one to blame for this except for Hillary Clinton. She made the decision. The elections, especially presidential ones, are about judgment and character, and I think hers looks terrible right now.
Where do I sign? Where do I sign?
Great
I've
point.
never attended a meeting of the Sanders for President committee before I came here this afternoon.
I think Biden's your best saving grace.
Oh, yeah.
You're absolutely right. I kept thinking that when I was looking at
right now that if Hillary Clinton is the Democrat, and this is what American Crossroads, Karl Rove, and the rest of the gang know, you can't beat Hillary Clinton. That's what this is all about.
But the thing is that should she be subject to the same types of prosecutorial discretion as somebody like a General David Petraeus?
Yeah.
And if so, then this should be clear.
Gave information to someone else. Hillary Clinton did not, and there's no evidence that anybody got any information, even though she was operating on an uncontrolled server.
We don't need to avoid protocol, basically put herself above the law as Secretary of State. What makes you think, as a Democrat voting out there, that she would be any different and even more egregious as President Hillary Clinton?
I agree. I think this is a legitimate question, but you can't
12
have
minutes and
the media's job is not to indict. Let the FBI, let the DOJ do their job and stop with all the spaghetti throwing.
This isn't spaghetti throwing. This is analysis based on the facts and the information that the public has a right to know. Eat that spaghetti, Juan.
Ooh, wow. Did you want to do something?
Well, just for fun, everybody, take one of the articles about this. Take Catherine Herridge's article on FoxNews.com. She's the one that broke this story. And search and replace Hillary Clinton's name with Dick Cheney's name. And then read the article as if it were Dick Cheney and his homebrew email server that did this. And imagine what the left would be doing right now.
They would be
kind of a fun little exercise.
They would be apoplectic.
Yeah.
A little fun word there.
I like it.
I rarely use it.
Don't ban
I've
it.
only taken it out for special occasions. All right.